Hello, and welcome to Time with Dr. Harris. It's always so great to see you. It's always so great to know that you are spending time with me. I love spending time with you. I did a little short blurb on my last podcast dealing with love or Valentine's Day. And I'm getting ready to, I want you to know that this is a time where so many people are getting together. And whether you are dating or courting, whatever it is, things that you are actually expecting, literally expecting, because this is such a big deal in the world today. Valentine's Day. People hook up with people, they don't even, they might have spent a day or two with them or whatever, but for them, this is such a big deal. And how a person responds to this affects your emotions. And one of the things, so I want to talk about courting and dating and what is your intentions. So I really want you to come with me, and I really want you to hear what I'm saying. And I really want you to really think about your feelings and your thoughts and why this particular time of the year becomes so important that we don't make good decisions. We have all these emotions going on all over the place. And the truth of why this particular holiday is so important. What I love that my husband says, and then my girlfriend's husband always says, that's one day, but throughout the year, I'm appreciating you and doing things for you. And but some people that one day, Valentine's Day becomes like the ultimate in a relationship. So I want you to follow me on dating, courtship. What is your intention? Dating, courtship. What is your intention? Just take a minute right there, just right there, and think about what I'm saying to you. Dating, courtship. What are your intentions? I really want you to think about that, okay? So dating could mean you're seeing someone occasionally, or you're going on dates, exploring relationships, or you're dating someone specific and it's serious. In today's culture, most people are accustomed to dating, which is sometimes a more casual approach to seeking a life partner. A person may have multiple romantic relations before they marry. Dating also means today that you are not necessarily committed to the same person. One person might be dating 2 or 3 people at the same time, and there's no pressure for being exclusive with the one that you're going out with. I'm bringing this to your attention because many people are spending precious time, energy, and emotions on people that have no intentions of being an asset to their lives. I'm going to say that again. I am bringing this to your attention because many people are spending precious time, energy, and emotions on people that have no intentions of being an asset to their lives. I want you to think about that, okay? There are so many selfish reasons to dating that leads you to giving the best or not giving the best of yourself. That leads you to what? You hear the way I put that? What? As you are reading and listening to this podcast, I want you to really be honest with yourself about to be honest with yourself about your intentions of the person you are spending time with, and know that you deserve the best that God has for you. Instead of wasting time on someone with no intention for marriage, use this time to grow and learn to become the best you that God intended. Stop giving away the awesomeness of who you are to just anyone. I'm going to say it again. Stop giving away the awesomeness of who you are with just anyone. Because this time of Valentine's, I need for you to look at who you're spending time with, who you want to spend time with, and what are your intentions? What are you expecting from this person? Because sometimes we're not really fair because we're wanting something that has nothing to do with what's really going on. or your thoughts and feelings on what that person that you're spending time with, and then you get all upset and it tears you apart. Difference between dating and going out. Dating and going out are two things which meant something else for the generation which has reached 30 or more years of age than for the younger generation, which is in high school today, or the teenagers today who are entering their 20s. It has been observed that in today's generation, dating is considered a very casual thing, which two people meet and go out for a movie or snacks, or they meet in shopping malls, or go out in general with or without friends, individually or in groups with people of their choosing. Today's teens and young adults involved a lot of technology in their dating, texting, writing, messages to each other on social networking sites, flirting with multiple people are all included in dating. Now, the thing about that is dating versus the picture I have, dating versus hanging out, how to tell the difference. Dating also means today that you are not necessarily committed to that same person. One person might be dating 2 or 3 people at the same time, and there is no pressure for being exclusive with the one you are going out with. Young people also start dating casually to spend time together with the person of their choice. They spend time in understanding the person and figuring out if there are feelings involved, which might lead to a more serious kind of relationship, where exclusively is required. Dating is the stage where one person, without getting very emotionally attached with another person, assesses their chances of a more serious relationship. When things keep working out between the two people, they might want to proceed to the next level. Otherwise, there is a breakup. People either dump each other or separate with consent and decide not to see each other anymore. Are you hearing me? Take your time and look at this, okay? Don't rush. I need for you to think about what you're doing and why. When the dating reaches a particular point when both the people dating are sure that the person they are dating means more to them than just a date, when they realize that they don't want to see other people and just go out with one person, then the relationship is said to have reached a stage where two people are going out with each other. It refers to a serious commitment where the two people involved are exclusive with each other and are no longer seeing other people. Here, seeing other people or dating other people may be considered cheating, depending upon the opinion of both the people involved. People going out with each other are considered a couple and are not supposed to flirt with other people. They are considered each other's partner and are in a serious relationship, which might or might not work out. Dating versus relationship. The terms dating and relationships have often been alternately used by many couples, so much that many would view the two as synonymous to each other. Although the two involve two individuals, these two terms could not be more different from each other. Behind the definition, a relationship is basically a connection between two individuals, either of the same gender or by different genders. Relationships are developed through constant communication and being with a particular individual. Although there are some relationships that involve some feelings to be felt between the two individuals, this is not necessarily a criteria for a relationship to occur. Examples of this would include a relationship between an employer and employee, or a relationship between a doctor and his patient. Dating, on the other hand, is a process where a person gets to know another person for the sole purpose of determining if that person will be a suitable partner. For dating to begin, both individuals must share some feelings towards each other and a desire to get to know the other person more for romantic purposes. Level of seriousness. When two people are involved in the activity of dating, there is no level of commitment shared between the two individuals. This is because, as mentioned earlier, dating is often done to see whether an individual would make a suitable partner. As such, the activities centering on the process of dating would involve doing fun things together, such as going to the movies or the beach with the central theme always trying to get to know the other person more. For this reason, a man or woman can date more than one person at a time. So if you are spending that time with somebody and the other person has made a decision that, well, they just don't want to spend time with you, I need for you to really go through this whole thing with me, okay? Then there's no way you should be upset unless they make it exclusive. I'm just saying. Level of seriousness continue. On the other hand, when two people are in a relationship, there is a certain level of commitment that is enjoyed between the two individuals. By this, it simply means that both individuals close their doors, are you hearing me, to the advance of another person. People who are in a relationship begin to refer to their partner with terms of endearment, such as referring to the other as his or her boyfriend, also enjoy communication topics that are no longer focused on getting to know each other. Rather, they begin to discuss other matters such as personal problems, challenges, and gathering the other opinion to help in decision-making processes. I really want you to know the difference, okay? Dating or courtship, what is your intention? Length of time. Because of the lack of seriousness and commitment between people who are dating, the length of time that two people will be dating each other is relatively short, ranging from a few weeks to a couple of months. On the other hand, those that are in a relationship experience longer periods of being with each other, with some spending the rest of their lives with each other. Summary. Number one, relationships are experienced between two people for several different reasons. Dating merely focuses on trying to get to know each other for the purpose of finding a suitable partner. Number two, people who are merely dating do not share any level of commitment between each other. People who are in a relationship are exclusively committed to one another. Dating only occurs for a short period of time, while those in a relationship stay together for years or even for their entire lives. I need for you to know the difference between that, because I know a lot of people, especially nowadays, they get engaged. I'm just using that as an example, okay? They get engaged in years, they stay engaged years with no serious commitment to finalizing this, which we call an engagement. My thing is, what's really going on and what game are we playing here? Because by the time you get to your courtship, when you courtship, you get to being engaged. Courtship is a time when you really get to know each other. You made a decision to be exclusive. And then when we get engaged, you already made a decision. So now we should be planning planning a time of marriage. Are you hearing me and understanding what I'm saying? Courtship. What is it and how is it different from dating? So what is courting anyway and how is it different from regular dating? In today's culture, most people are accustomed to dating, which is sometimes a more casual approach to the seeking a life partner. A person may have multiple romantic relations before they marry. Some people start with dating, followed by courting, and finally marriage. What is the difference between courting and dating, you might ask? Courting refers to the activities that happen when a couple is past the dating stage and a more serious stage of their relationship. It happens right before the two people in love become engaged or married. Usually a man is attempting to woo a woman with marriage as the end goal. So there are times in my journey when I would ask people who are dating, what is your intention? Do you have an intention to marry this person? And many people say no. I'm saying, well, why are you wasting time with them when you're in the way of somebody who they're supposed to be with? And I've had people break up over that. And I've heard people say, thank you. I remember there was these young people, he was dating somebody. And when he heard that, he let the girl go and found and met the person he was supposed to be with. This is some powerful stuff, okay? So if you're in a relationship, what is your intention? Even in courtship, if you don't understand courtship, which I want you to understand, you have to understand there's a process. So the intention of courtship is supposed to be leading towards marriage. Okay, are you hearing me? Okay, good. What is courting? It is the process of trying to attract a romantic partner to create a long-term relationship with you or to marry them. Courtship's definition may make you envision a man wooing his lady, comparing with roses and chocolates, and eventually getting down on one bended knee asking for her hand in marriage. This term is somewhat outdated for the present day generation because the sexual abstinence and modesty are now commonly scoffed at. You know, for years, people say, "This is my friend with benefits." Ladies, why would you allow yourself to give away your precious self to someone that all you are? We say we friends, but then we having sex together. We're all up in each other like that sexually, and they have no intention to do anything with you. You're just a benefit. The sexual relationship is just a benefit. But we as women, most of us, because I know everybody's like that, when we're having sexual relationship with you, it's because for us it's important. Now I know nowadays that it's not like that all the time now with women, but I'm saying we for us sexual relationship is connected to commitment, and we're giving away our precious self to someone who has no intention of spending intentions of you being a part of their life. Casual sex and living together before marriage has become the social norm. Now that you know the courtship meaning, does this still happen today? Some people argue that we are not entirely abandoned courtship in our society. Instead, we have added dating to it. This simply means that dating has just become an extra layer of our process of finding a mate. Unfortunately, dating for fun often widens the pool of the shadow partners. And when you really look at when you get with somebody, really, what is your thought and what are your intentions? And I need for you to understand, man and woman, that you're more precious than this with anybody or anything. And your heart becomes involved. Believe it or not, every time you're having sex with somebody, you're connecting. And is that okay with you? Think about it. Courting versus dating. The difference explained. Is courting and dating the same? No. Courting a woman is different from dating. Courting involves a lot of discovery between two people who are trying to find out whether or not they are compatible for marriage. When you're courting, you're really now getting more in depth into their lives and all the things that involves their life and who they are and everything like that. That's because now it's not just a bunch of women or a bunch of guys. It's like now I'm really honing in on you. The ultimate goal is to protect the emotional state of both parties so they can have a godly and a fulfilling marriage. There are several differences between the two. Before you decide to court someone, you must give permission. Now, I know that sounds old-fashioned to do, old-fashioned is like I do what I want to do, I'm grown. But when you go through the process that I'm sharing with you, you will see how powerful and important it is for you to be successful in the relationship. If you ask a traditional person to define courting, they will tell you that it involves the male suitor getting parental permission to date their daughter. That's because women, you are that special. You're that special. When a man does that, check him. What I mean by that is put a check, meaning that, okay, that's a character that I like. That means that you are important to him. You're not an okie doke. Usually the man initiates the relationship. I know nowadays, women, which has been, for some reason, you have this thing that's how it's supposed to be. We took a bunch of young people, this was years ago, we took a bunch of young people to an amusement park. And when we got back in the bus, these young ladies had a list of men's phone numbers and stuff like that. They become the pursuer. Let me tell you something, real talk. Most men still like to be the pursuer, okay? Are you hearing me? Because that's the way God has made them to be. In modern day dating, either the male or the female can initiate the relationship. However, the man initiates the friendship and approaches his and the woman's parents for their blessing and courting. So let's say a woman approaches you. Now, one thing that I do know as a woman that we do choose you. And I remember in my journey that some guys said they don't approach a woman because they know that she has a decision to either reject him or accept him. So because some men understand that, they might be nervous about coming to you because they don't want to be rejected, because we do choose, okay? When a man informs the woman about his intention, it is expected for a woman to act a little bit indecisive at first. She should be shy and not act as if she could not wait for this guy to make the first move. Women, be cool. You know, I mean, literally, when you go through this process, I'm trying to tell you women, will you allow the process that I'm trying to get you to see? A lot of the things that we desire as women, we will get. But if we become the controller, we become the pursuer, we never allow the man to be who God has made him to be, okay? There is the belief that a man enjoys being the hunter and the hero of the story, while the woman enjoys being a princess who patiently waits for her knight in shining armor. And if we could be real, we don't really wait. We actually need a pursuer. We're the controller. We're like, man, don't give a man a chance to even be able to be who God's made him to be. And that's because you are a princess. You are awesome. You are beautiful. And you deserve for someone to pursue you like God's intended for it to be. And it's really great to have that feeling. Number two, there must be a marital intent. Because I know a lot of times when guys are dating, or even girls nowadays, the intention is not to marry you. They can spend years with you, and many people spend years together. There is no talk about being married. They'll live together, have sex, they'll do all these things. But women, you don't understand what you're giving away. You don't understand how important you are, how precious you are. You just don't understand that you're more than that. But when you give everything away, and what are you saying? Help me to understand what you're saying and why you're doing that. You know, this stuff affects our self-esteem. You know, then we get upset, then we get anxious about it. And the deep thing about this is a deep thing. A lot of times people live together for a long time. And if they break up, then the guy and or the girl get with somebody else. You know that it's not for years. But my brother, who's no longer with us, said, men only do what we allow them to do. Hear me again. Men only do what we as women allow them to do. You understand what that means? So if a man's not doing certain things, or we're allowing it because we don't know who we are and whose we are, and we're putting up with stuff that we should not be putting up with because we don't realize how important and precious you are. Unlike dating, okay, let me go back, excuse me. A couple that is dating may not have any specific expectation for their relationship. There is no expectation of engagement or marriage. Both parties are just having fun without necessarily thinking about the future. This is the thing that really gets me, okay? People will be together for years, living together, just hanging out, giving everything to myself. Then they decide they want to get married. And all of a sudden now, they can't get married right away because they want to have this big, fabulous wedding. But that's another subject because my next podcast is going to be see me after the wedding, okay? But no, you are not obligated to marry the person. No, back up. Excuse me. Just excuse me, okay? I'm going ahead of myself. Unlike dating, courtship rules say that both individuals must feel fully mature and ready to take on the responsibility of marriage. The main motivation for the relationship is discovering whether you will marry your partner. No, you are not obligated to marry the person you are courting. The final decision is yours, and you can choose what to do with your life. So a lot of times you may be courting because you guys have made a decision. We really care about each other. We want to be exclusive, and then all kind of things come out. And you have a right to say no, no, you're not the one, or unless things change, we're not going to do this, and go to counseling. And I truly believe in premarital counseling. My husband and I do a lot of that. But things should come out. Everything should come out. Everything in premarital counseling. If you come to the point of courtship to marriage, and I also think that you should have counseling even when you're in courtship, because now you made a decision to exclusively date this person, and things you need to find out about this person to determine whether you want to spend the rest of your life with them. Number 3, a life of purity is encouraged. There is no physical intimacy outside of marriage. The couple will wait until the wedding night to have sex, especially if they are Christians. Now, I already know, come on, don't leave me now. I already know that that's not going on. A lot of people, most majority of people are having sex before marriage. But if you can allow yourself to experience that, it's just beautiful. Even people who've had sex in their lifetime, and then they really dedicate themselves to the Lord and make a decision. We want to do things differently, experience such awesomeness in that relationship. Non-religious dating culture upholds the importance of discovering sexual compatibility before marriage. And every time these people do it, they get closer, they start realizing things, they start learning things, and their whole attitude changed about it. However, those who court believe that real commitment means learning to be sexually compatible after marriage, even if it does not happen immediately. When you learn what really takes place in a sexual relationship, half you guys would not do that. You are bonding with that person, and everybody they have sex with is bonded to you. So you think you have that person exclusively, but you really don't, because they got all these other people they bonded with. That's the reason when we do a premarital counseling, we want them to denounce all these people they have sex with, because they're bonded together. And you only want to be bonded. You only want him to bond to you or her to bond to you. Are you hearing me? Soul ties are avoided by focusing on creating healthy attachments based on friendship. Romance before commitment sends mixed signals and can sometimes join a couple at the soul level, which may be detrimental in the future. You know, what's so deep about that is if you have bonded with somebody at the soul level and you guys don't get together and you're with somebody else, you wonder, why can't I really get with this person like I want to? Because you already bonded with somebody you're no longer with. This thing that I want you to learn is so, so important. I want you to experience all that God has planned for you to experience. Now, some of you guys are going to take this and say, I want that. And some of you are going to say, well, that's a bit much. It depends what you're desiring, what you're wanting. But I'm letting you know that you can't go wrong. You can experience such an awesome relationship if you're going to do it God's way. Since there is no physical intimacy, there is much more space for other essential things such as friendship, companionship, respect, and romance. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been in a romantic relationship and there's no sex. How sweet it is. You experience things that you've never, literally most people who are in a relationship has never be able to do the fun things together, to experience all these great things that you're supposed to experience in a relationship. They get together, they have sex, they most time right alone, and they never go out and have fun and experience such joy in the relationship. That is so important. Having fun, becoming friends, doing all kind of wonderful things together. Oh, guys, I just want you to experience how awesome that can be. Number 4, family compatibility is tested. One of the things that we deal with in premarital counseling is the importance of the family. You think it's just you two. but everything that's involved in the family comes into the relationship, good, bad, or indifferent. So it's going to be really important for you to get to know each other's family, because it says a lot about your life. It says a lot about who that person is, what's involved with that person is just so, so important. So a lot of times people get together, they don't connect with the family. It's just me and you, baby. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And then they wonder, what's all this that's going on with this person? Well, you never found out anything about the person. So you don't know. And now here we are married, and all the stuff is coming out. Courtship definition is not limited to learning more about each other. It's also a time when the couple spends large amount of time with each other's family to assess compatibility. I'm going to say that again. Courtship definition is not limited to learning more about each other. It's also a time when the couple spends large amount of time with each other's family to assess compatibility. Why is that so important? Because it's telling you about that person and what that person grew up with and what you're connecting yourself to. During this period, close relatives weigh in and get to know the potential person joining their family. So let's say your person that you're courting has a history of their family being drug addicts or alcoholics or promiscuity, all kind of stuff, and you're marrying this person or you're looking at this person. You have to look at the familiar spirits that's attached to that person, and so you'd be able to break that off so you guys can start your relationship strong. 5, there's an emphasis on being in groups and not alone. One of the things that takes place all the time when people get together is this aloneness. Don't do that, guys. Don't do that, because there's so much. One of the things that I think is very important is to let them to be able to observe them in different places. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, how they treat their mom, how they treat guy or girl, how they treat their mom, how they act with other people, what they're like when you take them out in a restaurant, all kind of different things, that you need to pay attention to and do not ignore. Well, he treats me so good. It's not enough for him to treat you good. How does he treat other people? Unlike dating, there is not much privacy. The couple is encouraged to go out in groups to prevent premature emotional attachment that may lead to physical intimacy. When you're attracted to somebody, that feeling becomes so strong, and to prevent just having a big bang sexual relationship, being able to get to know each other when you are among other people, you get to notice certain things. I really want you to experience it. Get to know them, see them in a different light. And even though it's that sexual is strong, but you won't keep giving in because you, first of all, don't want to. You want to wait if you guys made that decision. And second of all, it doesn't become a relation that's just based on sex. One-on-one date nights are basic protocol for people in a relationship. But in courting, the goal is to help the couple get to know each other. Hear that? The goal is to help the couple get to know each other on a friendship level before becoming romantic. Do you know that most people are not friends? Most couples are not friends. That is one of the greatest things in a relationship. I love you and I like you and you're my friend. So when the person, when you guys disconnect for an argument, whatever, you're missing your friend. Otherwise, you can do you and I'll do me and I'm good. But when they're your friend, you're missing that part of your life. Being in the company of others helps to limit opportunities for sexual activity. The majority of people who their relationship is based on sex don't last and they don't really have a good relationship. Yeah, the sex is good, but there's nothing else. But we as people really want more than just that. So they're having sex with you, but they end up meeting somebody else that really they connect with because it's more than just that. Number 6, it does not last for many years. You're dating somebody or you're courting somebody and it's just years. What are you doing? What is your intention? Why are you wasting so much time? Why are you doing that? I want you to think about it. Years? Courtship and marriage go hand in hand. Usually the courtship period does not last more than a year. The couple is encouraged to decide to marry within a reasonable time. Why is that so important? Because we're not playing with this. We made a decision and we'll follow through with our decision. Dating is all about testing the waters so the couple may get tired after a couple of dates. However, courting is a more serious and committed relationship. You know what? One thing about being it's no big deal for a person to be dating different people. When a person hones in on being committed, what it does to your character, it is so powerful. How the discipline of who you are and your character shows up. It's no big deal dating a bunch of people. When you are the kind of person that says, I'm not going to be all over the place, and you keep yourself for that one, you meet that person, and both of you guys decide, you know what? I like to spend more time with you, and I like us to be exclusive. And then you treat each other with so much love and respect. That's powerful, guys. Don't you want that? Both the man and the woman know that they will continue to see one another for an extended period. They will therefore engage in the same activities as a dating couple, such as going on a movie date, but they do not stop after 2 or 3 dates. Because they started saying, you know what, I really like this person. I really want to get to know them more, spend more time with them. How special is that? Number 7, the couple is always open to the counsel of others. If when you are really serious about it being successful, you won't try to do this without counsel because you're wanting it to be successful. Learning how to court a woman also involves a lot of learning about life and marriage from the other people. Emphasis is placed on acquiring wisdom and not feelings. Because, you know, when we just go by our emotions can fool us. But when we meet somebody and we get to know them and the good, bad, and different, and we still say, you know what, this person who's trying to be the best they can be is somebody worth spending time with. It's not based on any emotion, but based on reality and wisdom and knowledge. As a result, the couple is not afraid to seek advice from parents, pastors, and mentors about various issues. That's when you are serious. That's when you know, I really want this relationship to work out. Both family members and friends are welcome in the relationship, and the couple counts on their support in finding their right match. A lot of times we get so hung up in our emotion that when they're able to see different things that the person is doing, but someone else is counseling, especially if you're doing counseling and dealing with these issues, allows you to see things that you maybe notice but kind of ignore or whatever and not take it as serious as it is because you're so wrapped up into your emotions. Besides getting advice, knowing someone's closest friends and family can help you to understand them better. You know, so many times when people break up, somebody in a relationship, somebody friendship or family say, I didn't like that person in the first place. I saw this, that, the other. I wasn't for it in the first place. And you wonder, why didn't you tell me? After you've been through all this hardship and abuse and all this other kind of crazy, why did you tell me? Because sometimes you're not open to hear. You don't even want to hear. Number 8, unlike dating, men and women are equal in status, but can have different and complementary roles, especially in marriage. You know, one of the things that I talk about is that in a relationship, one person's weakness could be the other person's strength. And together, if they understand that together, it can be powerful. Typically, dating assumes that a good relationship will meet all the needs and desires of a person. Only one that can meet your needs and desire. I mean, to the depth of what we're wanting is God. But when we're able to understand that, we won't put so much pressure on that person who can't meet every need that we desire. Only God can. Then we can enjoy the relationship. Courting, on the other hand, recognize that men and women are created differently, and each gender has its role in the community and family. Women, talking to you right now, when you really think about the role that a man plays, then and you really respect that, then you're able to allow them to be who God made them to be as leaders. But you don't, you go ahead and then you're the lead and you're controlling. What's so funny is many times when we are ministering to couples and the man gets the aha and starts taking his role as leader, because the woman has always been in control. She says she wants him to lead. When he starts leading, she's like offensive, like, oh, she's missing, like, okay, because she doesn't understand the role that the man plays, and she doesn't like it because she's so used to being in control. And it could be generational. I'm just saying. You can only have one partner at a time. Number 9. There is exclusivity, in courting because it is a serious commitment. The couple is exclusive and monogamous, and neither the man nor woman can go on dates with anyone else. If they do, the relationship is over. This you having a lot of male friends and him having a lot of women friends. Come on, guys. Why are we playing with it? It's not that kind of party. You have to, this is what I say. Let's say you have a best girlfriend and he's a male, or you have best girlfriend and she's a woman. Can you still remain being best friends? I say no, because the relationship has changed. Now, if that is the best friend, why don't you include your person that you're dating in that relationship so they can get to know each other? So now it's not just my friend, it's our friend. That's challenging, and many people have gotten very upset over that because they bonded with that person to the point where they don't want to let them go. Well, you need to make a decision. Anyone who wants to fool around and live the life of a bachelor while seeing someone else cannot court. I'm going to say that again. Anyone who wants to fool around and live the life of a bachelor while seeing someone else cannot court. When you decide to get married, or when you decide to court, the way you did things is different. It's just different, and that's the challenge, because you want to do things like you were being single or not being exclusive, but in this relationship. And one day I'll talk to you more about that, because there's such a difference that I need for you to understand, which is very important. But we want to tend to, a lot of people who get married, let me say this real quick. A lot of people who want to get married still want to live a single life. They want to bring their singleness into marriage, and the dynamics has totally changed. And if you decide to get married, but you still want to do all you things you did when you were single, you need not to get married. That's how much of a change it is. 10, the couple is accountable to authorities. There is no accountability for the couple in a dating relationship, and little or no interaction with family members. One of the things that you already know, my kids already knew, I can't take this person to my mother or father, because they already know what we expect. So if you feel like you have to hide it, you can't take that person to your family, think about why. Actually, you already know why. That's why you're not doing it. Because you already know what they're expecting, what's acceptable, and you already know that this will not be pleasing to them. Real talk. These mentors ensure that the couple stays faithful to each other and their religious beliefs. There is a call for each person to save their raw emotions for the marriage. That emotion is real, okay, guys? It really is. The way we feel, especially when you're attracted to somebody and you want to be with them and you made a decision to be with them, it's like it's so strong. But to be able to hold that down and get to know each other, it becomes so sweet. I'm just saying. Why is courting better than dating? Number one, it can eliminate short-term flirting. Do you realize that when you're flirting, you are, when you're flirting with individual, that you are playing around with them and their emotions? Flirting is dangerous. Now look at this picture. I thought this picture was excellent because people do this all the time. There are no mixed signals, hidden messages, and no need to decode other people's thoughts, words, and actions. It involves complete honesty right from the early stage of the relationship, so you can rule out mixed signals or different goals earlier. You know, a lot of times we have, I remember I did a group and I was telling the women, you know, you already went through, I wrote the book, Beauty of the Woman. And one of the things I did within that group that I did, this is one group, I do several at that time, but there's one group I had, I was explaining to them how we as women, what God has put inside of us to be able to discern certain things, the way a woman looks at you, the way she touches you, all this other kind of stuff. And a lot of times men don't have that discernment. But the things that God has put in us as women that we know, we recognize. And so when we bring this to the man's attention, they think you're jealous or that's a bit much. That's not really happening, you know. But I told those women, don't ignore that. That's real, you know. And if the man, you're protected, you don't realize that when we are discerning those kind of things, the man don't realize how much is a protection it is. Because we as women, we got all kind of ways to get your attention. We got all kind of ways to connect. That's just part of what we do. But if you ignore that, men, if you know that the person you're with is a jealous kind of person, but if you respect them and you see them as women who have great self-esteem and they're really trying to protect you, that you will listen to what they're saying. It will keep you from falling. It will keep a lot of men out of trouble. But I'm not talking about a jealous woman. I'm not talking about somebody who is they just every little thing. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about someone who's strong in who they are. You love and respect who they are, and that they're not someone who has low self-esteem, who's really trying to protect and they know those things, and you believe in who they are and the guidance of who they are, that you will listen. It will protect you. Hear me. It will truly protect you. The person you are with expresses their true feelings and intentions, and so do you. The two of you agree to be exclusive, so there is no need to see other people. Because if you do, you have to say, well, why do I want to see other people? If I made a decision to be exclusive with this person, why is there still a yearning for me to still want to see other people? And it's okay when you say, you know, I thought I was ready, but I'm really not. I think that's more wiser and sensitive than to keep playing the game and you know I'm not really ready. It's okay because it takes a lot of maturity. It takes a lot of wisdom. It takes a lot of discernment to realize, you know, I really like this person. I thought I want to be exclusive, but I'm not really there to the extent of the seriousness of this relationship. Okay, people, guys and girls. Number two, the battle of the sexes is curved. Does courting define gender roles? Since it is more archaic type of dating, there are fewer progressive views of male and female roles in relationships. Women and men are the courters and the courted, respectfully. As a result, gender roles are assigned. In today's world, the couple can choose to ignore some gender roles or to do things differently. Now, even if you choose to do that, there's still an amount of respect and understanding in that, such as, you know, there are some who don't like to cook, but the man doesn't mind cooking, and that's okay. You know, so understanding, that's the reason why understanding each other's strengths and weaknesses is very important, but it's important for there to be an agreement to understand that. And that's the kind of stuff that should take place in premarital. because it's really important. If you don't really want to work, you're a professional woman, but you really say, when I start having kids, I really want to be there with my kids. That's important for you guys to agree or disagree with. Okay? Excuse me. Relationship is maintained when you go to the extra mile. Go that extra mile. Both the man and the woman go the extra mile. There's nothing like having this wonderful relationship and people are striving to really make it to be successful. It touches your heart. While courting, both parties go out of their way to make their partners happy. Little acts of appreciation like sending flowers go a long way in creating a good relationship. I remember when we were doing the people already had married, they never, a lot of people never experienced the courtship part. So we asked them to go out and date each other and have fun. And unbelievable how I said, you write down the things that you enjoy and him to write down the things you enjoy, and you flip flop times to do that. They came back to the session, they were just beaming. It's like they developed this new relationship they didn't know they had. Very, very important. You won't want to cheat in the relationship. Since there are strict rules on how to do it, both the man and woman should feel safe from getting led on and from getting cheated on. What do I mean by that? You made a decision. You feel secure in this relationship. You've done all the things that I'm asking you to do, or that is needed to do. Then you feel secure. You're not looking for that person to cheat or feeling insecure about that person cheating. And you're believing that this person has really dedicated themselves to the Lord and don't even want to, because that's how special you are to them. And this goes both ways. There used to be a time when they always thought about it's the man. No, we've met a lot of women who the men want to be faithful. The men want to do this. It is the woman who. So it's no longer just a man thing. It's a man and woman thing. Are you hearing me? You are so important to me, and I really want you to be able to experience all that God has for you. So now remember, these are the things that I'm teaching you through my different podcasts. It's still up to you to decide whether you want this or not. But just remember, it's your decision. So don't get mad if things don't work the way you want to be, because you want what you want. You're going to do what you want to do. Where the older person is trying to teach you, trying to help you, which we're supposed to do, trying to guide you. But you made a decision that I don't care what I see this guy or I see this woman, I want what I want. And I'm willing to do whatever. Well, okay. But for those of you who say, you know what, I really want to learn. I really want to know. I really would like to experience a great relationship. I want you to know. Dr. Harris wants you to know that you can. Yes, you can. And guess what? God wants you to experience that. But the choice still becomes you. Here's a chart showing courtship and dating. Courtship is a relationship between a man and a woman wherein they get to know each other and develop their relationship before getting married. Dating is a modern day relationship trend, a stage where the couple meets socially or regularly to see if they stand a chance to be around each other. It doesn't take, hear me, it doesn't take you long to know. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. One of the things that we also encourage, let's say you see somebody and there's something about that person. We say, before you get with that person, watch them. It will tell you a lot. And if you see such great things about that person, then approach them, okay? Courtship is like a promise to make a commitment to marriage. Dating does not account for readiness of marriage with long-term commitment. Courting preserves sexual contact for marriage only. Sexual intimacy is very common in the modern day dating culture. If you knew, to the extent I would love for you to know, what is taking place in the sexual intimacy, how serious it is, how bonding it is. You won't just jump in and out of bed with different people or just have sex, because there's a difference between having sex and lovemaking. But you would think about it and make some strong decisions. Okay, remember that the thing about it is God's the one that gave us that sexual drive, but He gave it to you for marriage. When we're in and out of relationship connected with every Tom, Dick, and Harry, or Sue, Sally, and Jane, we're not getting the benefit of what God's intended for you. There's such a binding that takes place in sex, such a bonding, and you never ever get a chance to experience lovemaking. I remember I did this church asked me to do this workshop, and I asked the couples, I said, when's the last time you've been intimate? Everybody got quiet. And I said, okay, you guys think I'm talking about sex. And I started breaking down what intimacy was, and the women said, I want that. I want to experience that, because sex is just getting off. But intimacy is such a powerful thing that takes place all day long. From the time, it's just a powerful thing. And it's such a beautiful experience. Courting cultivates a deep sense of emotional closeness between the couple. Dating a form of courtship, but without the emotional part, is the dating. And then the courting seeks accountability of parents or mentors under the protection of God. There was little or no accountability with family in a dating relationship. And I really want you to think about why you won't get any accountability. But I think that you already know. I want what I want, and I don't want anybody to tell me anything different. Summary. Courting is about developing a deep bond to ensure the relationship has a clearly defined direction and is going just the right way. Courtship is all about commitment and accountability. It is a commitment to honor God's will as you seek a partner for life. In contrast, dating is a strictly no commitment policy, but with a little chance of long-term relationships. Courtship is getting to know each other and developing a deep relationship before getting married. Whereas dating is mostly physical with no strings attached, no emotional intimacy. Now, that might be something you want. But don't get upset if you're going after that and then you don't get fulfilled in what's in your heart, because really God has given us the heart of wanting to be loved, wanting to be special. And if you think that having sex with somebody is making you that way, my brother, I told you, he says, men only do what we allow them to do. So when a woman decides that I'm worth more than that, the man will respond to that. And if he doesn't, then then you're just not the one. You're not the one that's good enough for me, because you are so important. But I also want you men to know, and I meet more and more men who really they then went through the sexual thing and really want to be in a relationship that's exclusive, and they don't want to be all over the place. But the woman doesn't feel that way. Men, I remember telling one of my children, no, 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 no. No, no, no. All these beautiful women with me, I was doing a group and all these women were beautiful. When I went to somewhere where my son was, and he looked at them and I said, no, 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 no. Because I want him to know they might be beautiful, but they come with much issues. So don't get hung up on looks, but get hung up on character. I appreciate you guys so much. Again, I ask you, dating, courtship, what are your intentions? Only you can decide that. See, no matter what I'm trying to teach and what information I'm trying to give you through all of my broadcasts, I already know that the choice is yours. But I want you to know that I'm always praying for my podcast, because I know there are people who are going to listen and change their life. I know that, even if it's one person. their life is being changed. So as I end this podcast, I need for you to know that you are so special, that God wants the best for you. He's not trying to, what people say, well, God wants to have fun. Oh my goodness, he wants you to have fun. He wants you to enjoy the sweet relationship that he's ordained. And I need for you to know that you can. You can have a powerful relationship. You can have a powerful marriage and enjoy it and love it and be treated with such intimacy, special, precious, and be honored and enjoy the love of your life and all that he or she might do for you. That's God's plan for your life. And so I want you to decide if this is what you want. All I can do is give you the information. All I can do is plant the seed. But it's still up to you. I want you to know that you're more awesome than you think you are. And for those who decide, Dr. Harris, I want what you're talking about. Through all the different podcasts that I did, I want what you're talking about. And so at this time where love is floating all around, it's Valentine's Day, I don't want you to get hung up in that. I want you to look at the previous short podcast I had to know what love really is. And I want you not to get all sensitive and have to hook up with somebody, whatever, because it's Valentine's Day. You would not believe how people respond to that, especially women. So I'm sending much love to you, and I look forward to seeing you. You be blessed, okay? You take care. And follow the next one I'm doing, See Me After the Wedding, because some of you might get engaged or expecting to on this particular day. It's a big deal. But I want you to know, I want you to look at my next podcast, See You After the Wedding, because I really want you to know what that's all about. Sending much love. Take care. Bye.